So we'll just go through some of the things that the devotees can do today or in this month, or some of the vows that they can take up in Kartik month. Okay, so devotees can offer a ghee lamp or a candle to Lord Damodar and to the sky to reinforce that Krishna is everywhere and any ancestors are stuck anywhere get liberated. So you can do that twice a day, at least. We sing the Damodarastakam while you're offering the ghee lamp. You can do extra rounds of the Mahamantra. I can worship Tulsi Devi as she appeared in Kartik. She was one of the personalities that appeared in Kartik. You can read the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, recite the Gopi Geet, which we did today. You can take up special fast, could be like not have any grains, maybe one grain meal per day. Some people just have fruits and nuts all month. So depending on your capacity and how, what you can do. But the main thing is to do more bhakti and less gossip, TV, social media, etc. And then the last 5 days is the Bhishma Panchak. And this is when Bhishma actually fasted for 5 days. So devotees can also try and fast on these 5 days, which are the final days of the Kartik month. So it's from Ekadashi to Purnima. And Krishna has put all the potency of Kartik in these 5 final days. So if someone is not able to do anything all month, then maybe they can fast in these 5 days. And it's equivalent to fasting the whole month. It's like the Bhim Ekadashi, Bhim couldn't fast all the Ekadashis, so he only did the one. So this is a similar concept as well. Okay, so we can look into the glories of Sharad Purnima now. So today is actually Sharad Purnima, which the day that Ras Leela actually took place. And devotees start offering the ghee lamp from today in many of the temples in Vrindavan.
Okay, it's fine. Sure.
Recent.
No.
Haribol, while you're waiting to search for, I'm just going to let you know I share. I went to this group. I go on Tuesday, Monday, Wednesdays, and I did a ghee lamp. I'm not candle. And speak about Damodar. In the beginning, I said I'm not here to convince or convert anybody.
Good.
But it was such a nice feeling that I mentioned Damodar and Radharani.
Good.
And some of them said, "Oh, that's right," because I said something about spiritual month and to be nice to the other, no backbiting, this, that, the other. So I think they could relate to that. So it was good. That was good.
Good. Well done.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's inspiring because everybody can do something,
Exactly.
It's very important to do
something. I got a chance to say something. So I thought, oh, here we are. That was good. Haribol.
Yes, Lord's mercy when that happens. Okay, so we've got it finally. Okay. So Sharad Purnima, very nice.
Okay. So significance of Sharad Purnima. So in part, it signifies the beginning of the autumn season. Different parts of country, different celebrations are held. So there are prayers for good harvest and prosperity and blessings from the Supreme Lord that controls all human accomplishments and ventures. God Goddess Lakshmi descends on earth and showers blessings of prosperity and wealth to the ones who stay awake for that night. The moon is said to be the closest to the earth on Sharad Purnima and is said to have healing powers. This way, the rays of the moon heal our body and soul on this particular day. So there's a tradition that kheer is offered to the Lord, and gopis also did that as well. The reason for this is that having kheer on that day of Sharad Purnima is widely appreciated, and is regarded that the light of the moon drips nectar, which contains varied kinds of healing properties. So people prepare kheer and leave it in the moonlight for the whole night. So you're supposed to leave it open, but because of animals, I think you can just cover it with say cling film, so the rays of the moon actually go into the kheer. And then the next morning, the same energized kheer is distributed to all the family members as prasad. In Vrindavan, Sharad Purnima is one of the most exciting festivals, known as Shri Krishna's Saradiya Rasa Yatra. To reciprocate the gopis' love, Krishna performed the Ras Leela pastime on Sharad Purnima. Prabhupada said that Ras Leela is the highest reciprocation of love that takes place in the spiritual world between Krishna and his most beloved associates of Vrindavan, the gopis. However, these are very confidential pastimes of the Lord. The acharyas' hearts break when they see this most spiritual activity taken as lusty activities by materialistic people. Sukhdev Goswami, who was on the topmost level of renunciation, considered the Ras dance the utmost expression of divinity. Raghunath Das, Sanatan, and Jiva Goswamis praise and worship the Ras Leela of Krishna in their books. Raghunath Das, although very wealthy with a very beautiful wife, left it all behind like a man leaves stool behind. On the path of bhakti, how much we have surrendered to that degree we can comprehend and realize Krishna's pastimes. By hearing Krishna's pastimes purely, everyone gets purified, but they have to be heard from the right source with proper training. So this is a depiction of Krishna playing his flute and the gopis rushing to the forest where Krishna is. When Krishna called the gopis while sounding his flute, they very hurriedly rushed towards the spot of the Ras dance with a transcendental desire to satisfy Krishna, leaving their respective engagement, such as milking cows, boiling milk, breastfeeding their small babies, distributing food to the members of the families, etc. And the faces were decorated hurriedly and were haphazardly finished. Some even put the lower part of the clothes on the upper part of the bodies and the upper part on the lower part. So the lesson from this to learn is when Krishna calls, you run. You forget about what you're doing. So when the gopis went there, Krishna said to them, "O ladies of Vrindavan, you're very dear to me. I'm very pleased that you've come here. What can I do for you? What is the purpose of your coming here in the dead of night?" So he's teasing the gopis in this way. "Kindly take your seats and let me know what I can do for you." The gopi said, "Krishna, you're very cruel. You should not talk like that. We are full-fledged, surrendered souls. Please accept us. Of course, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can do whatever you like." So the lesson from this we can learn is that we can pray with our heart and the Lord will accept our prayers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set the standard of not discussing intricate pastimes with the general public, but only with his most confidential associates, such as Swarup Damodar. So there were sweet breezes carried over the Yamuna of Malati, jasmine, Malika flowers. Vrinda Devi and Yogmaya had arranged by their own personal love every possible beautiful feature to increase the pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. Krishna wanted to give the utmost ecstasy to his devotees on this night. Krishna went to the shore of the Yamuna at Vamshivat and played the fifth note on his flute. The sound was actually the love emanating from Krishna's heart. The gopis came to Krishna, who was standing under a banyan tree, hoping that Krishna would accept them. Krishna told them it was nice that they came, but why had they come? He told them to go back home. The gopis' hearts were struck with sharp arrows when they heard Krishna's words. They stood drawing patterns in the sand with their toes. Their eyes welled up with tears. They told Krishna that left everything to please him, that he had stolen their hearts. They were fulfilling their duties as Krishna was in everyone's heart. So all their love was exclusively for him. So although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he has no desire that needs to be fulfilled, because he's Atmaram and he's always full of the 6 opulences, he wanted to fulfill the desire of the gopis. He also wanted to enjoy the company of the gopis in the Ras dance. So this actually took place when he was 8 years and 1 month old. The Ras dance and Lord Krishna's association with the gopis appear like the ordinary mixing of young boys and girls. The dancing of young boys and girls within the material world is in the kingdom of Mahamaya, or the external energy. The Ras dance of Krishna with the gopis is on the platform of Yogmaya. The difference is that Mahamaya platform, so difference is that on the Mahamaya platform, dances take place on the basis of sense gratification, of lust, whereas the gopis' interaction with Krishna is on the spiritual platform of love. So lesson from this is that the pastime of Krishna is completely spiritual. Then the gopis, however, soon began to feel very proud, thinking themselves to the most fortunate women in the universe, due to being favored by the company of Krishna. Lord Krishna is known as Keshav, could immediately understand their pride caused by the great fortune of enjoying him personally. And in order to show them his exquisite mercy, he immediately disappeared from the scene, exhibiting his opulence of renunciation. Lesson that we can learn is that we should be careful that we do not also become proud. Of course, the gopis are very special personalities, and this is all part of the Leela between them and Krishna. The Ras dance actually said that it took place for a whole day of Brahma. So it's thousands and thousands of years by our calculation. The gopis are the topmost acharyas, teaching by the example, the topmost instruction of abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto Krishna. Krishna says, surrender and become my devotee, offer all homage to him, to me, and in this way you will go back, you will come back to me. So this is what Krishna says, and this, the gopis are displaying this. Krishna, being pleased with the gopis, went with them and walked through the forest with them. They came to the bank of the Yamuna, and each gopi was thinking that Krishna was only with them. This is the power of Krishna. His power to love is perfect and complete. Krishna can satisfy everyone to the heart's desire. Okay, so we've looked at this in the previous slide. So when Krishna disappeared, the gopis became mad in ecstasy looking for him. They looked everywhere. They asked the trees, the birds, the creepers, and even Tulsi Devi if they had seen Krishna. They begged Mother Earth that she was so fortunate that Krishna's lotus footprints are always on her to tell them where Krishna had gone. But Krishna had disappeared because of our pride. This is what the gopis are thinking. The gopis were aware of the reason for Krishna's sudden disappearance. They could understand that when they had been enjoying Krishna, they thought themselves to the most fortunate women within the universe. And since they were feeling proud, Krishna had disappeared to curb their pride. Lesson to learn is it's very important to understand when we have made a mistake to try and correct that mistake. We've looked at this as well. So being absorbed in thoughts of him, they experienced loss of memory, and with dampened eyes, they began to see the very pastime of Krishna. Being so attracted to Krishna, they imitated his dancing, his walking, and his smiling, as if they themselves were Krishna. Due to Krishna's absence, they all became crazy. Each one of them told the others that she was Krishna himself. Soon they all assembled together and chanted Krishna's name very loudly as they moved from one part of the forest to another, searching for him. As they were searching, they went deep into the forest. It was so dark that even one moonbeam did not enter it. They saw Krishna's footprints, and this gave them hope. Then they saw two sets of footprints. The gopis realized that another gopi, who was Srimati Radharani, was with Krishna. She loves Krishna the most, and that is why Krishna had left them. They finally saw Srimati Radharani sitting alone. Krishna had also left her, as she had also become proud. They finally saw Srimati Radharani sitting alone. Krishna had also left her, as she had become very proud. They could not see anything, so they came back to the bank of the Yamuna and simply cried. There they began to sing the glories of Krishna. This is called the Gopi Geet, which are the beautiful prayers of intense separation. These prayers have been meditated upon by great devotees. And as Karuna has already sung this for us at the beginning of our satsang. So this was the conversation with the Satyavat Muni, with Narad Muni, and it's recorded in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. So Lord Krishna finally reappeared among the assembled gopis and looked very beautiful, just befitting a person with all kinds of opulences. He showed special favor to the gopis, who were the selected beauties of all creation. It is impossible to repay you or show enough gratitude for your love. Therefore, please be satisfied by your own pious activities. So Krishna was, saying to the gopis, I can never repay your love for me. So just be satisfied that, your love overpowers me as well. Krishna, being very pleased, appeared before them. He had a garland of forest flowers and a yellow dhoti. He reciprocated the gopis' desires and satisfied them. The gopis asked Krishna why he had left them and how much they had been hurt. Krishna explained that he had left them as he was their true well-wisher. He wanted to intensify the loving devotion for him. He was willing to do anything for them. The gopis had real love for Krishna, as they did not expect anything in return. So he never abandons a sincere devotee. Krishna said that he was so pleased with them for abandoning all worldly things for him. Even when he disappeared, he never stopped loving them. He said that he can never pay off the debt of spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Prabhupada mentions that Krishna is revealing his heart to his devotees. Krishna is showing that love of his devotees is so priceless to him that even a lifetime of Brahma is not enough to repay the love of his devotees. Then Krishna and the gopis danced to the heart's content. Prabhupada calls this a circular dance. Krishna was dancing with each of the gopis. He was playing his flute in the middle of the circle, and he was singing with each of the gopis. In this way, they danced the entire night. Repay the gopis, Krishna made the length of that night a length of one night of Brahma, which is 4.3 billion of our years. Most of the gopis in their previous lives were great sages, expert in the studies of the Vedas, and when Lord Krishna appeared as Lord Ramchandra, they wanted to enjoy with him. So Lord Ramchandra gave them the benediction that their desires would be fulfilled when he would appear as Krishna. Therefore, the desire of the gopis to enjoy the appearance of Lord Krishna was long cherished. When the night ended, Krishna sent them all home. Yogamaya allowed the families of the gopis to think that the gopis had been at home all night. Even the gopis forgot about the night. Krishna had put a night of Brahma into a night of human beings. So all the residents were still there in the morning. This is Krishna's inconceivable potency. The Ras Leela represents unmotivated, uninterrupted, pure loving service to Krishna. The gopis worshipped Goddess Katyayani for a whole month because they wanted Krishna as a husband, And Krishna fulfilled this desire to some extent at Chirgat by stealing some of the gopis' clothes. In Monkey Bihari temple, this is the only day that he holds a flute in his hands. Deities of some of the other temples are brought out into a garden, and devotees sing bhajans all night and offer milk sweets. Sharad Purnima ki jai. Any comments or anything that anyone want to add